I know you can't answer this particularly well, but how far away are we to moving to the next stage of the roadmap? And I know it's probably the $1 million question, and one you can't answer. But what indications have the government yourselves sort of been given that we might be moving to the next stage of the roadmap?
Yeah, so we'll the next stage on the roadmap is basically saying that we would move to, which would be stage D, on a A to F, where F is the full contact game. So stage D would see us allowing inter-club ready for rugby. So it would allow your club, Sean, to go down the road to another club. It would allow a group of 4 clubs to come together and play a sort of a tournament type activity. Now it's still non-contact, but at least it's allowing us to get back to being able to visit another club and play something vaguely competitive. And the other part of stage D would be to reintroduce some non-contact training. Now the first part of that is within our own control, the inter-club matches. The second part of it requires government approval again. So we submit tomorrow actually a plan for the contact. We've had to set out in there clearly what will and won't be allowed. So, you know, it's restricted activity. It's going to be around a reduced height tackle in training. It's going to be around a bit of line out work, but line out work that is just going to have to, as the ball comes down, be passed out. We're not in a position where we can start to form mauls or anything. And there's going to be some limited work around the breakdown. But at least what that would allow, if we could get that in, is some of the physicality to come back into the sport. I'm not sure if people are fully aware of the process that we've had to go through to get it approved by government, but you have to conduct a pretty extensive what they call an exposure risk assessment. So you've got to basically analyse a full game situation, and you've got to analyse every player, every position, and the amount of time that they have face-to-face contact with other players, and whether that is classed as fleeting, which is less than 1 second, or non-fleeting, which is between 1 second and 3 seconds. And then if it's over 3 seconds, you're right in the high level danger zone. And you then have to play out that that exposure risk framework against every position on the park. And what it shows in our sport is, unsurprisingly, that the sort of 3 really high red risk areas are in the scrum. And actually it's the setting of the scrum rather than the scrum itself. But the setting of the scrum just means we're in that red zone for a longer than acceptable period. In the tackle, and particularly the upright tackle, and again, if you just think there about a tackler running at pace at a tacklee, and as they hit, the tackler tends to exhale, the tacklee tends to inhale, and everything we know about this virus is that's where the problem is. And then the third area is around the line out. It's not so much the line out per se; it's the maul that ensues from the line out. So those are remain the really challenging areas, and they're just so red on a risk table. You may be aware Rugby League have got back, but Rugby League have removed the scrum. And of course, after a tackle in Rugby League, there's no breakdown. So it's just so different. So I would hope that we may move on at some point. I mean, hopefully early September, but this will all be now down to government and what they make of our plans. But to get some contact training back in training sessions, I'm sure many people would welcome.